So I came across a post on Twitter some weeks ago that stated that Christians most times we just talk about how you shouldn't have sex before marriage, how you should abstain from fornication and adultery and all of that. And we don't really talk about how to really deal with the sexual feelings that you have. Yes, I want to abstain. Yes, I want to be faithful. But there's this feelings. I don't know how to handle it, and young people feel like we should be talking about not just abstaining or the fact that fornication and adultery is a sin, but we should also talk about how they can handle the sexual urges that they feel to be able to, abstain properly, to be able to overcome and the sexual feelings that they have. So that's one of the reasons why I decided to do this video today, and I hope you really enjoy it. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Omotola. Thanks for tuning in. So today I'll be talking on how to deal with sexual feelings as a single Christian. But I believe this topic doesn't only pertain to single Christians alone. So if you are single, if you are on a celibacy journey, if you are separated from your spouse, and you're just thinking about how to handle your sexual feelings or urges, then you definitely want to stay tuned, because I'll be sharing tips that has been helpful for me and for at least people that I know. So the first thing I like to say is that the sexual feelings that you have is actually normal, and you are not the only one going through it. A lot of people experience sexual urges all the time, all over the world. Christians, Muslims, traditionalists. So you're not abnormal, especially if you are a young adult, you're in your prime. It's one of the ways your body helps you, tells you that you are in your prime. Yes, and don't beat yourself up. It's one of those things, and it's actually a gift from God, even though God gave it to us to exploit in marriage. So that is that. Number two, handling the sexual feelings that we have is actually a fight, just like every other fight that we have to go on or do as Christians. The fight against our body, submitting our flesh under, making our flesh know that we are in control. A lot of times our flesh wants things that aren't necessarily right, and we can't just go about giving it what we want. And I was listening to a preaching from a lady that said that she stated that our body is actually like a child, and it cries at any distance, looking for something. Oh, give me food. Oh, I want sex. Oh, I want to be clothed with best things. Oh, I want sweets. Oh, I want sugar. Imagine if you just went on eating everything your body demanded for, or taking every sweet your body demanded for. It's going to be as adults to you. So it's the same way as sex. Yes, your body is crying. Oh, my elbows are all over the place. I want sex. Give me sex. I want to carry a baby. I want to get pregnant. And we can't just give it whatever it is that we want, especially for people that are already principled and you know that this, yeah, you are there, but this is not something to be explored till I am married. So you need to tell your body that you're not the one in charge here, I'm in charge, and then you take charge, you do things that will help you gain more control, so that you're able to handle it much more properly. If you're able to do this over time, the more you get your body under control, the more you're able to master it, and the more your body will actually keep quiet. So number three, if you're thinking about how to handle your sexual urges, you need to be able to define your motives, because when you have your motives defined, it will determine how much you're able to invest into anything that helps you gain control over your body, over your mind, and your body generally. So that's that. Define your motives. Why are you trying to abstain? Why are you trying to get your sexual feelings under control? Is it because people say you should do so? Is it because you are choosing to honor God? Is it because your friends are doing so? Is it because it's the right thing to do? Is it because you are waiting for someone special? Check your mind. If you're a Christian, I expect your reason that we are choosing to honor God with your body, because that's the reason why we've been asked to, flee from immorality and every appearance of evil. And if that is what you're doing, you know that it's not just about the sex itself. You are trying to put your mind under control, you're trying to put your thoughts under control, so it makes you be much more strategic with your interventions towards controlling the sexual urge and feelings that you have. You can also decide to focus on the advantages of the sexual purity journey that you're on, so that when times are hard, you know what I mean, you can focus on the advantages and the benefits of what you're doing, and it keeps you going. Probably you are able to come before God with boldness when you're sexually pure. The devil doesn't have anything against you, or you are able to think better, do things better. These are the advantages of sexual purity. And by the time after defining your motives, if you identify these are the advantages, it will be helpful. Alright, so on to the main action points, which will be starting from number 4. Understand your emotions and don't be confident in your flesh if you want to do stupid things. A lot of times we find ourselves doing things we don't want to do because we feel like I've arrived, I'm charmed now, I'm tongue speaking, I'm prayer firing, this one, how can I fall into temptation? And then we find ourselves where we don't want to find ourselves. So understand your emotions. Don't underestimate your hormones and what it can do. So when you understand your hormones and what it can do, you are able to take much more precautions. Like I remember when I was single, I used to tell myself that I'm not worried about my spouse. As it was a means of keeping myself accountable to myself and taking responsibility for my actions. So I'll tell myself, I'm not worried about my spouse. I'm even worried about if I come and meet somebody's son. You get what I'm trying to say? It's me trying not to belittle myself. I'm not trying to tell myself that, oh, Omotola, you are strong. You've got this under control. Yeah, but I'm trying to let myself know that Omotola, you are a human being. Try and as much as possible to not put yourself in the way of temptation. So it helps you to flee when it's time to flee. But if you underestimate yourself when it's time to flee, you still say, no, I've got this under control. I pray that there's a problem. Then number 5 is an important thing to take note of. Be aware of your triggers and avoid it. Know when your sexual feelings are all over the place. You're in your feelings, probably during your ovulation, probably sometimes, especially as women, how our body can be sometimes. It just does whatever it is that it wants to do. So identifying your triggers. There are some things that we do sometimes that stimulates our feelings and gets it all over the place. So identify it and avoid triggers. There are also certain things that that is obviously things that actually stimulate our sexual feelings, such as certain movies, sexually explicit movies, books, discussions, etc., etc. So when you know them, it's good to avoid them. Be careful. Let's be careful with what we put in, what we expose ourselves to, because most times it's what we expose ourselves to that flows out. So we need to be very careful. And sometimes the devil likes us that, because you are on a celibacy journey doesn't mean you should be ignorant. You're learning how to kiss, you're learning how to do. So you two, you're watching, so you two, you're reading. The devil has continued. But it gets here, because the devil is very, the guy is actually trying to sow seed. He's sowing it little by little, sowing seed of immorality into you. Before you'll be saying this monster, so by the time it gets you, the seed has turned into a big tree that you're not even aware of, and then you just fall yakata. So fight like that. Avoiding triggers is like something major that you really need to do. Don't take it lightly at all. I remember when I was still single, even till now, I don't go out a lot. I'm like an introvert anyway, so I would watch any movie I would watch and consume anything. And then I remember then those people just be giving me subtle warning. Omotola, be careful with what you're exposing yourself to. this movie that you are watching, be careful. You know, at the point, the Holy Spirit even gave me caution. He told me not to watch any movies again. And I had to say, God help me, why will you say I should not watch any movies again? So because I wasn't trimming, is that the word? I wasn't monitoring the content I was consuming, you know, because it was everywhere. So I had to stop. I had to stop watching movies generally at that time. And then later on, when I saw that my love for movies actually diminished, then I started, you know, being much more conscious about the type of movies that I was watching. Until now, I'm still always very conscious of what I put in, because it's not only as a single person, even as a married person, you need to constantly watch what you put in. That's why as Christians we are not advised to watch pornography, because it's still terrible seeds that we are sowing into us. It fuels our imagination, consumes our thoughts, and it could even lead to sexual dreams. It's not only people that are sexually active that have sexual dreams. I know that there was a point in my single life where I was really dealing with sexual dreams, and I would wake up feeling dirty and all of that, and I had to talk to my pastor, and I told him about it, and he just talked to me about how I needed to uproot certain seeds that have been planted that the enemy is using as a means to intrude into my mind and my space. So I had to consciously uproot and renew my mind. We'll also be talking about how we need to renew our mind and how that process helps later in the video, so don't forget to watch it the end. So I had to do a major work on my mind to come out from that place, because being in that, having sexual dreams is a terrible feeling. If you've been there, you understand what I'm talking about. So another trigger that is very subtle is talking about sex all the time. Yes, those sexual jokes you're always having with your friends is not important. Yes, because you realize that after those talks, something happens in your imagination. Like, you could also ignite and increase the sexual feelings that you have. So watch what you're talking about. And also for people that are dating, please, this sexual talk, yes, it's important to talk about sex, but I would advise that you keep topics on sex to later, when you are closer to get married. In short, when you've already picked dates and when time is almost there, that's when you should be talking about sex, your expectations and the boundaries and everything like that. So that is that. I really hope you found this video helpful. If you did, kindly give it a thumbs up, share with others that you feel would need the content, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Thank you very much. See you in my next video.